We welcome you to South Florida and the Boca Ice Center, where two M3 teams will play their first games against each other, coming off of a Friday game the first weekend. It's Florida Atlantic and the Embry-Riddle Ice Eagles. Welcome everybody ringside. My name is Devin Serra, riding with you solo for now, our producer Mitch Liswith. And I mentioned the first weekend between these two sides as programs. FAU played the M3 team, which is now the ACDC Ice Eagles, last season en route to a sweep, but they have not faced this M2 team, which is really hot right now at the start of the season. 4 straight wins for Embry-Riddle, sitting at 4-5, 0-0 on the year, 2-3 in conference play. This group led by Kai Ackerman, their alternate captain, and Rowan Luke. Bob Joyce, their coach, done a masterful job turning around this program. They won as many as 5 games last year, en route to a Nationals appearance when they were a Division II program formerly in AAU. Now back in the ACHA, they're coming off the 6-2 win over this FAU group on Friday night. They had some well-diverse goal scoring. Gerard Keane, the defenseman from Chicago, Illinois, former product of the London Knights. Yes, you heard that right, of the Ontario Hockey League, a former junior prospect, had 2 power play goals in their 6-2 win. His last goal in that contest, he went coast to coast on this Owl defense. Florida Atlantic sitting at 3-5, 0-1 on the season, 2-1 in conference play, 2-3 rather, excuse me, are trying to find their identity. They have really struggled in the penalty category. 6th time in 9 games this year that they have taken 7 or more penalties in a contest. This young group led by Andrea Goda has preached we have got to find a way to stay clean and use our speed. When we play teams that are more structured than us and more physical, that's when we've suffered. We'll see if the Owls can turn around their luck against the team that had a really strong performance on Friday. We'll get to your starting lineups in a moment. We'll get to the scratches for both sides. First, Embry-Riddle out of the lineup for them tonight. Daniel Finnegan, number 9. Ryan Sellers, 28. Caden Coronel, number 41. Jaden Yockey, number 42. And Nick Cox, number 95. Their penalty leader will not be in the lineup. The backup goaltender tonight, Lucas Holland, and the starter, Ryan Obert, out of St. Louis, Missouri. We'll talk about him after the national anthem. For the Florida Atlantic Owls, still without a couple of key guys in their lineup. Joe Cañero not touching the ice. Sam Carrozza will also be out of this crew, along with Nick Andonovsky. Alex Bartoshevich gets the night off. Nicholas Snyder and Jonathan Cholnick. And Seth Fisher will back up Matthew McMillan in this Game 2 on the weekend. The goaltending will be a big story throughout this game. Embry-Riddle, the goaltender that hadn't won a game last year, but he is one of their veterans, the junior. And likewise, Matthew McMillan is going to have to be big in his own right out of White House Station, New Jersey. We'll get you ready for the starting lineups. We'll turn off our headset, get you the surround sound, and bring you those lineups in just a moment. Florida Atlantic M3 and Embry-Riddle coming up next on Owl TV. Starting netminders for both sides. First, the visiting Embry-Riddle Ice Eagles. They turn to the junior out of St. Louis, Missouri, Ryan Obert. Hadn't won a game last year through 10 games, 0-9-1. But he is a veteran, and he's a former AA product of the St. Louis Sting. He'll have to be good against an FAU group that tries to put up a lot of shots. Florida Atlantic turns back to their savvy veteran in Matthew McMillan, White House Station, New Jersey native. He got the win in relief for Seth Fisher last weekend against Kennesaw State before giving up that second contest. Seth Fisher was in goal in their 6-2 loss on Friday night. McMillan will start back out there as their primordial starter. For Embry-Riddle starters, they have a savvy group. Gerard Keane, we gave you the story, the former OHL London Knight product on defense starting there. Jake Filler also fills in. Ray Olsen had the third most goals last season. He features on the wing, a great Ice Eagle scoring ability. And of course, their captain, Rowan Luke, out there for this group. Opposite defense to him, number 94, Daniel Lawless. The Owls go back to their top group. Returning to the M3 team, Peter Petito this weekend wearing 22. He had one of the Owls' 2 goals yesterday with Sam Watson. He starts off the hop into the possession of Obert, and we are underway. From left to right go the Owls in those red and blue sweaters. The Ice Eagles of Embry-Riddle in those white and navy blues. Owls need a good start to this game. They gave up a lot of penalties in their last contest. 3 power play goals led the way. 2 of those from Gerard Keane, as we mentioned. And it was the 6th time in 9 games this year they gave up 7 or more penalties. Ice Eagles try to get it out through the center zone. It's immediately sent back by Sam Watson into the clutches of Daniel Lawless, their alternate captain. That was Gerard Keane trying to connect on the wing with Ray Olsen. Had it turned over. Iannicelli skated in on Obert, who slid a puck in to his pads. The Ice Eagles are head coached by Bob Joyce, the longtime veteran coach for them. Anthony Gallant, the assistant. Bill Thompson. This crew has been with these guys. They are all staff members at Embry-Riddle, and they are the only coaching staff. This is the first save of the game officially on Obert on the shot from Connor Strum in the high slot. The only coaching staff that has qualified this Embry team for nationals. That was back in the 2020 COVID-canceled season where they made nationals as an ACHA M3 team. And since then, it's been a slippery slope. Just 5 wins last year on the year when they were an M2 team for this Embry-Riddle crew. They have the puck attacking up ice. Stephen McCormick, left wing, Alexandria, Virginia native, goes in on McMillan, has a tough time with the defense getting in after him. Help from the back end. That was skated away. Good job by Carter Baker out of harm's way. Owls want to exit the zone. Embry-Riddle, pesky at the blue line. They'll skate back to the neutral zone with Jake McCaw. Big time goal scorer for them. He led the team in goals last season with 9, as we mentioned, in that year where they struggled mightily in Division II play. This is Alex McCollum. Turn the puck over as Baker takes a check. Official is down on the far ice. Got collided into by McCollum. They'll both skate away under their own power. Good to see there. As here comes Embry-Riddle's Hunter Shermer. Good job defensively. Baker on this shift twice now foils that forecheck for Embry-Riddle. John Bayona back in the lineup tonight. He's been dealing with some problems to start the year in and out of this group. Onside come the Owls. Rothamich drop pass for Bayona. He gets pinned to the boards on the backside. Helping to come out, Jake McCaw. Now drawing to fish it, Sean Murphy. Owls get it free. Comes to the high slot. Kept in the zone by Rothamich. Shot towards the net. That was knocked down in front and cleared out of the zone by McCormick. A race for the puck at the opposite end. Smashed in Sean Murphy. Couldn't get it past Bryce Malcolm. And then they will have to retreat. Turned it over again. Ice Eagle shot on McMillan. Fought off. And another try kicked out from the near blue line. All the way back into the clutches of Obert. Good job by McMillan. Not allowing a second look towards the net. He made a good job with the stick on the save. Re-entering the zone. In front. Shot off the post. Beautiful connection. Zanto with Sean Murphy. And he rang the right iron. Owls needing to get back in the attack. Embry-Riddle jumping on them early in this as we have this called. It's an icing against Florida Atlantic. The Owls yesterday in their 6-2 loss. Had the opening goal from Sam Watson and then conceded 4 unanswered. One of those on the power play. It was before Peter Petito got them closer early in that third, but by then it was just too much, too late. Andrew Yagoda said that third goal yesterday was the one that was demoralizing. There's a backhand try wide of the goal. Shot in from Olsen. Embry-Riddle, pesky forecheck, gets back into the attack. A shot towards McMillan, sails wide. Cleaning up the loose side, Bryce Malcolm from that far post. And FAU can't get it out of the zone. It's skated out lonely by Rowan Luke. Was hounded on the play by Norton. He can't get past one more Icicle. He'll get help with his steady defenseman, Gerard Keane. We'll talk about a lot tonight. Shot towards the net. That went off a body of Lesko in front, and the net came off its moorings to stop play. And Gerard Keane, we gave you the story on him. Former product in the OHL. Played with the London Knights for 4 years, from 2018 to 22. And then the Niagara Ice Dogs in 22-23. Suffered a wrist injury that sidelined him, and he thought it was going to be quits for him in his junior career. One of those guys that head coach Bob Joyce said just slipped through the cracks. It was a product that could have been in consideration with some NHL programs when he was a defenseman on the blue line, starting, mind you, for the London Knights. He has as many as 177 OHL games to his name for the Chicago, Illinois native, 45 in white. Owls try to retreat out of their own zone. They will get it up the left wing with Lesko, who had it immediately foiled. Pressing a man is Iannicelli. Had it stolen over, enters the zone alone, has help on the far wing. Multiple Icicle sweaters get in the passing lane. That was for Peter Petito, 22. Now carried out by Petkovic. Finds left wing Shermer. They'll re-enter the zone. Gave it back right away, some back and forth. An exciting first 5 minutes. Almost gone in this first period. Devin Serra with you, our producer, Mitch Liswith, and our camera person tonight, Madison Quinn. Iannicelli to the attack. Loose puck off the side of the goal. Watson looking for a second on the weekend, couldn't bang it home. They'll slide it back, low to high, tip shot in front from Renzi, and Obert says no with the left pad. Right wing skated up by Ackerman. He's one of their leading scorers from last year, 13 points. Sharp angle try towards the net, well wide. And banged off the near boards. That allows Embry-Riddle to make some soft changes. Darren Zanto, the senior out of Reddington, New Jersey. Bob Joyce said this guy has improved mightily since last year. Thor Vogan had the puck worked away from Drew Renzi. Renzi needing to have a really better second half as we get near the end of the first semester. It's already crazy we can say that. Renzi put one in front. Hope we can pick it up. Baker's shot redirected wide. Went off the skate of Murphy in front for Embry-Riddle. Kept on side. Good job by Connor Strum at the top of the point. Deeper it goes where Kingsley's there. Help from McCormick. Directs the puck up the left wing and skated out. Thor Vogan connects with Murphy. Onside they go. Right wing. Defended well. Hounded by Baker. He stole the puck away. Absorbs a check as it's dumped in by Kingsley. And Icicles take possession back. McCormick sends one on McMillan, who will hold this one. And we'll get our stoppage of play with 13:58 left in the first. Icicles came into this game at 4-5-0-0 on the year. They have won 4 straight, dating back to their thrilling overtime victory versus USF. And that was a massive upset considering they lost 11-6 the previous night. That was September 26th. Since then, a sweep of Coastal Carolina, who's an AAU Division III team this year, and the win over FAU. It's the first 4-game win streak they've had since 2021. Tells you a bit of how much bad luck this Embry-Riddle program's had the last couple of years in College Hockey South. Stopping on a dime. This is the OHL product. And Gerard nearly stolen away. He fought off the streaking Bayona on him, and we've got a penalty coming up here. Or do we? They're going to put this puck directly at center ice. Wasn't sure if they called this offside. That's a rare center ice draw we get. No penalty on either side. We stay 5-on-5. Good showing for FAU so far. Here come the Ice Eagles. Fought off McMillan. Second try put wide on the weak side. Unable to stuff it was Olsen. That puck trickled once, twice, and 3 times over his stick. And eventually the Owls get out of a little break. This hounding forecheck dumped in by Daniel Lawless. And he'll stay out there as his team is making changes. Comes on Shermer. Help with McCall, who jumped right into the play. McCall cuts off the angle for Bayona. He'll dump and change. Wholesale group coming out for the Owls now. Reversing field. Upright wing, Ackerman. Foiled. Stolen away. Bank pass off the boards from Malcolm. Intercepted by Ackerman, who comes in. And we've got a whistle once and twice. Linesman called FAU Ice Eagles offside. Embry-Riddle. Also of note for Embry-Riddle on the bench for them, former player Derek Costanzo, nicknamed DC3. He has the 5th most games played in Embry-Riddle's history. Caught up with him before the game to chat about their defensive structure. They have looked a lot better since they dropped their first 5 games of the year. Some tough opponents, mind you, in that regard. Played Florida, M2, and then Tampa. And of course, those 2 teams in M2 worked them over handily. And then the USF loss, that's a gauntlet of a schedule to start your season. But they've taken care of business against teams that they seem they can keep up with. Much improved roster. 12-12 left in this first period. They'll look to break it out of the zone. Alex McCullum, right wing stretch for Shermer. Push it in farther. Goes past the stick of Michael Terry, who collects behind the goal. He'll take a reverse check. Good job by Shermer. But Owls don't pick it up at the blue line. It skates all the way back to the trapezoid in Embry-Riddle's zone. This is carried by Petkovic. He'll play tag with Shermer. Streaking right wing. The Niagara Falls from Canada side native, the sophomore, will put this into the attack. Bodies want to free it up in that far side. Bryce Malcolm unable to cook it free. Santo had him worked over. Embry-Riddle deeper to the zone. Hard, pesky defense by Sam Watson. A captain's effort, pinned to the near side. Wanting to fish it out is Sean Murphy. Got it free to the middle, and a glove stop, a beauty by Matt McMillan. One came that time from Jake McCall. For this FAU group, they're starting to get dwindling down. I mentioned a moment ago in their first semester schedule. They still do have the Battle at the Beach to play. The next time you'll see this M3 team, that's October 25th and 26th from Coral Springs, Florida, the Panthers Ice Den. This Embry-Riddle team will also be part of that tournament in the Battle Division with Florida Atlantic M2, Lynn University, and Tampa, who are both M3 teams. So a lot at stake for them. Puck fluttered through the blue crease area of Oberg, but that one could not be picked up by any Owls. Slides back to McMillan. He'll stop behind the play. Forward it along the boards. Intercepted by Kingsley, right wing. Puts one in front, tried to. Baker got in the way. He'll take a shove down in front of the Zamboni doors. Behind the goal, thinking about feeding it in front. Olsen had nowhere to go with that puck. Good job by the Owls to close the gap. And she do just enough to force it out of the blue line. That'll make Embry-Riddle change their line. The Owls gain possession. Out comes Drew Renzi. They'll get the top unit once again in there. Tips it past the red line. Renzi goes in after it against the opposing 11 in McCormick. Baker sends it back. Went off the linesman's skate. That stopped its momentum. Allows a nice feed for Rowan Luke, who sends one towards the goal. Defended by Buccigross, the alternate captain. Stick lifted. Coming in to clean up that puck. Comtois Tuman. And McMillan will settle things down one more time. Halfway gone in this first period. Still scoreless. Embry-Riddle with the majority of quality chances in this first. A minute ago, they had a beauty from Jake McCaw. Even better save by McMillan. Over the Boca Ice logo. Sent back by Gerard Keene. Through the middle. Connects for Luke. Races right wing. Past one defender. Now a second. Towards the net. Fanned on a shot attempt from a tough angle. Wolves clean up the half boards. Loose puck in the high slot. Directed up the far wing. Moriarty past the defense in there as the Ice Eagles retreat. Right wing skates with a heap of speed. Here comes Moriarty deep to the zone. He'll have one defender to cook out the puck with, Renzi, but he gets worked over. defensively by Keene. That's a bigger body, sitting at 6 foot 175. Into the grass of Bayona. Nice move to get it away from the defender. He'll retreat it, swing the boards. Nothing but red sweaters there as Ice Eagles don't keep it onside. It's knifed away defensively, just trying to keep the puck out of a forecheck rush the other way. It was Barry, and really neither side has had that defensive breakdown yet in this contest, although Embry-Riddle doing a good job holding the line. This one's turned over, though. Onside comes Barry. Drops it for Iannicelli. That went past his skates. Archibald takes a check, dives to the ice. Bayona intercepts the clear attempt from Santo. Owls look to reclaim. Connor Strum dancing around defenders. Collected. D to D they go, the Ice Eagles, with help from Murphy. And we've got our call and the first of this game, and it's for interference. The Owls are going to go to their first power play of this game for the penalty on Kai Ackerman. Owls were 1 for 9 on the man advantage this past Friday, rather, 2 days ago. The special teams group, headed by Drew Renzi, as Baker, off the face-off win, will direct traffic. Peter Petito's out there, one of 2 goal scorers with Sam Watson. Gets it deeper to Renzi. He'll quarterback behind the goal. Checks it for Petito, and he sent it just wide to the top of right corner. Petito, 22, returning to the M2 team. The net is off its moorings. That's what the stoppage is for. A crucial offensive addition for Andrew Yagoda's squad. Didn't really see much time for M2. I believe only 1 game so far in this young season. But the junior out of Neconsett, New York, had 14 games for M3 last year, 17 points. He was top 5 in scoring, playing a limited schedule with both squads. Tells you a little bit about what they need from him. This Owl team has struggled mightily to find depth scoring. Their top line does the majority of it, and he's out there on the top power play unit. Behind their own goal, they'll start to reset. Drew Renzi as Owl blows a tire on the far wing. That was Sam Watson. Renzi will look to enter. Takes a hip check into the Embry-Riddle boards. Deeper it goes. Petito can't catch up to it. And a nice clear by Travis Petkovic resets the Owls one more time. 1 minute to go in their first power play of this contest. They're without a shot on goal. They keep the top man advantage unit out there. Little miscommunication. Watson has to dump it deeper because it went through the legs of Renzi. Opposing 11 catches up to it. McCormick can't send it out of the zone. Held by Baker at the line. He'll survey. Right wing. Petito thinks about a shot. Gets it deeper for Renzi. Wanted the backdoor feed for Watson. That was foiled defensively by Kingsley. One-timer blast. Obert says no. A follow-up shot. Stick to side. Watson keeps the forecheck on. 27 in the man advantage. Right wing. Baker for Petito. Foiled. Great defensive stand by Kingsley twice on this kill for them. Owls don't know where they're going to go with the puck. Renzi gets it deeper. Went past his stick. He'll have to chase to the far corner. Puts on the brakes. Waits with Watson, left wing. Thinks Renzi looking for the top to the slot. Baker, left side. Watson, turn around. In and out of the glove of Obert. And it's cleared out of the zone by Kingsley. There goes the power play. 0 for 1 start the Owls. And Kai Ackerman out of the box will chase the puck to the offensive zone. As Watson absorbs a board. Help with Baker wanting to fish it out. They kept that group out there. They now got to change, the Owls did, with A.J. Barry. Over the red line, Iannicelli, nice feed. Tried to get around one defender. Overplayed the puck, and that went out of the zone. Gives possession back to the Ice Eagles. Forwarded on by Kingsley. Right wing side for Ackerman. Gets past the defense. Backhand, and he rang the iron. Twice the Ice Eagles in this opening frame have hit the right post. From the high slot, breakout for the Owls. At the red line, wanting to dump and chase it was Iannicelli. He fanned on that. Bayona couldn't get to it in time. That allows Gerard Keene to find Ackerman. Long shot into the grass of McMillan. He says play on. Buccigross misses a check. Look out. Ray Olsen tried to level him and missed into the end boards. Between the legs of Barry. Some nifty quick passing, but ultimately coming out of the net for the Ice Eagles, and Obert will direct his team forward. Unable to hold that, we got a quick whistle. And we have potentially another call coming up. I thought the far official here motioned what looked like maybe a hooking, but it's in reality, this looks like possibly a hand pass. I'm not sure about that one. Looked like the Ice Eagles were going to have a nice breakout and entering the offensive zone. And instead, they had to take a draw to their own zone. And Daniel Lawless misses a pass intended for Thor Vogan. That's going to lead to an icing, so they're going to have to go back to their own zone anyway. Fast-paced start. Still no score in this one. Devin Serra with you from Boca Raton in South Florida. Welcome you in, and also welcome if they're watching from afar. Louis DiPaolo, Aaron White, great talents on air for the Ice Eagles. Louis DiPaolo has been doing it for quite some time. He's a great character. You learn a lot about this Embry-Riddle team from their broadcast on the Embry-Riddle Hockey YouTube channel. As many as 1,200 followers. Embry-Riddle fans, you guys support well. Here's a turnover for the Owls to the attack. Fanning on the shot, as getting in the way for a moment was Keene. Back up top, Owls swing it high to low. Bryce Malcolm wanting the right look with Justin Lopes. Pinned to the boards, Lopes is by Lawless. And the Ice Eagles with Zanto will carry out to center. Murphy had his stick lifted, gets onside anyway. Right wing chance, fought off with the pads of McMillan. They continue the forecheck. Dump and change, Ice Eagles regain possession as the Owls are changing. Battle of the Birds. It's also what Louis DiPaolo called this weekend set. Skinning wide. Gerard with 2 goals on the weekend. Nifty feed, got it for McCollum. A little bit too much. Now he's got an open lane to shoot. Backhand over the top of the crossbar from Keene. Owls just do enough to get it out of the zone. It's been mostly Embry-Riddle with the high-quality chances. But they gave FAU a power play that Obert did enough to fight off. 3:07 to go in this first period. McCollum gets around one defender and Comtois Tuman. They'll go cross ice for the captain, Roan Luke. Takes a chance on McMillan, in and out of his pads. He can't reach for the swallow, but it was a better job by the Owls defense. This is carrying with it Connor Strum. Parks it at the top point. Pekovic, pesky defense. Carter Baker slides D-to-D with Buccigross. They'll reverse it again. Strum is worked over by Jake McCall. Dances around defenders, flies into the low slot. Almost had to be the last defenseman to steal it there. Andrea Goda can be somewhat impressed by this defensive group that really looked like they broke down in the second and the end of that third period on Friday. But they have been better in this game, doing enough to help their goaltender with those second and third chance opportunities for the Owls. Long saucer by Baker, given back to Petkovic. That just allows them to get that line off the ice. On comes the top group with Watson. This is Petito. Tries to get around Petkovic. He stands him up. The sophomore for the Ice Eagles. Defenseman digs it free from the glass. He's got one man helping with Ackerman. Now in the middle. Nice pass for him. Never got the shot off. McMillan tried to glove it down and couldn't. Rothamich directs it up to the point. They hold on side. That far wing now. Great defensive job by a veteran for this group, the sophomore of Pembroke Pines, Florida, keeping the Ice Eagles from generating a second chance. Every time Ackerman, the Atco, New Jersey junior, touches it, that's danger. He's their leading point getter from a season ago. We're down to 1:14 left in this first frame. Knifed along by Watson. Deeper off the boards. A fortunate Ice Eagle bounce. Gabe Mahan gets after it. In and out of the stick. Sean Murphy dropped it, picks it up now. That allows, though, Buccigross to hunt it down with help from Petito. Skates around one defender as the Ice Eagles reset. Those are skidded out to the neutral zone. They could catch FAU in a change if they hurry. They do. Get a shot towards the net, sticked aside by McMillan, and into the protective netting for a stoppage. One thing we learned about this Embry-Riddle team on Friday, Owl fans, is this is a tough, physical team. Has a tendency to play lots of dump and chase puck. But it really depends on their game situation because they have had multiple clean zone entries in this game, and they do a good job holding the line. Their defense is their strength, considering they have lots of senior experience with the likes of Gerard Keane. We talked about Petkovic a number of times. Of course, not a senior, but the point is that he is experienced and has learned a lot from a year ago. Connor Moriarty into the attack. Centering feed, that was Renzi looking for nobody in particular. Slap shot, redirected a couple times, fought off with the blocker of Obert. 16 to go in the period. They get it deeper for Renzi. Parks one backdoor, trying to feed it. Lawless intercepted what was going to be Justin Lopes, and now the Ice Eagles will just flip it out to center. If the Owls hurry, they might have had one more chance. There's an injured Florida Atlantic player along that far half boards. That is unnamed player on my roster strikes again. I'll get that for you at the break. Number 5, Florida Atlantic. So one more face-off, and then time will expire in the first frame. So some back and forth action, a very fast-paced opening 20 minutes. Embry-Riddle, some quality chances. McMillan, some great stops. And the Owls foiled on their own power play, 0 for 1 in this game. So we'll get to that updated number along with these. We might as well call them temporary jerseys. They're really not, though, for Florida Atlantic, considering they've played now 9 games and now 10 in these sweaters. So we'll get you who that player was, see if they're all right. And we'll head to the break. 0-0. We'll return in the second frame on Owl TV. 2. Welcome you back for the start of the second period from Boca Ice Center. 0-0 knotted between Embry-Riddle and Florida Atlantic, these two M3 teams. Devin Serra joined in the booth now by M2 goaltender Rocco Bruno out of Pennsylvania. Rocco,
what's going on, man?
Welcome. The FAU faithful know you well. Tell us about what you've been doing this off weekend.
This off weekend, doing a lot of training, working really hard, you know. We got another off weekend coming up next weekend, so, you know, just working hard. Then we got Battle at the Beach coming up. I'm super excited for that, and you know, got to be in athletic shape. So
yeah, you train with DJ Randall, is it right?
Yes, correct.
Yep.
Yes, I am training with DJ.
For those that don't know, every time you post on your story, it's either you're training with DJ or you're running like 4 or 5 miles a weekend. That's what I was telling you about off the air.
Yeah.
Geez, man, like how did you find this training regimen? Like, what are you doing with him?
You know, I just have so much time during the day, you know, and so, you know, I get out there for a run, I get in for a workout. So you know, I try and stay busy though by doing all this stuff. That's the main point of it.
Yeah, still skating with the boys, having fun. What's your guys' practice look like this week?
Practiced Tuesday, Thursday. Not exactly sure what we're going to work on, but you know, I'm just excited to be out there.
Does David still try and skate with you guys, David Israel?
No, he doesn't try and skate with us, but he does try and coach us from up here when he's watching.
He told me the biggest thing he missed about playing for FAU wasn't the games, the championships, but playing like tag with you at the start of practices or even warm-ups.
Rebound game.
Yep.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I miss about FAU hockey is David Israel, in all honesty. He's you know, he's got the world's best personality. He's a great guy. True passion for the game. I mean, all around just stand-up leader and businessman. He's a great guy.
I could see David Israel on a team like Shorzy. You know the show on Hulu and stuff?
Yeah.
He's a Shorzy personality.
He would be the main character. That guy's wearing the jersey over there.
Oh, man. I did, yeah. That's where I got the reference, right? What do you think would be his role on the show?
His role on the show? I don't know. You know, he's got the.
Is he the start a fight at the bar guy?
I don't. You know, he's got the hockey organization Wolfpack. So you know, maybe he would be the owner of the team.
Right. Help own it with the who's the woman that owns it? I forget her name.
I forgot her name too. It's been a while since I turned that on the TV, but I tell you what, it's a classic.
it's a beautiful show.
It's a classic.
Teams will flip sides of the ice. Embry-Riddle going from left to right in their white sweaters. FAU and the red and navy buckets. And Rocco, that first period, FAU. Matt McMillan, a goaltender, you know, very calm in net. He moves around a lot like you. What are your favorite things when you watch him as a goaltender?
My favorite things about Matt McMillan is his positioning. You know, he's always in the right position. He moves very well, you know, standing up and on the ground. So, you know, that's what I really like about him. He's always in position. He's at the top of his crease and he's ready for the shot every time. Yeah,
and from your neck of the woods, not the same state, New Jersey guy. You're from Pennsylvania, obviously, but those roots up there very strong as we get resumed on this. McMillan stopped all 9 Embry-Riddle shots in that period without a power play chance. This one is called a penalty coming up here. I believe it's for cross-checking. Motion by the far official. So let's see who's going to the box here. I saw the official from the far side signal. No, they called this offside. Wow, what a weird signal. Okay. I think I've seen that. We luckily I've seen the penalties kept down to a minimum. Biggest story with this FAU crew, Rocco, is they have taken a lot of penalties in the first start of the year. 7 or more in 6 of their 9 games this year. But when you play like that in a first where it's back and forth, does that kind of help you when you've been on the wrong side of it for a while?
Well, you know, the penalties, they obviously hurt. You know, the biggest thing is staying disciplined as a team. And, you know, not letting your emotions get the best of you. So it definitely does hurt. I will not say it doesn't, but, you know, it's part of the game at the end of the day.
I'm sure you know a thing or two about that, right? Need help from your team. You guys unfortunately took a couple against Tampa, and you fought off a lot of those power plays like McMillan just did on the far side. We were in 5-on-5. This one is handled, carried in the far wings. Shot from the high slot, in and out of McMillan's possession. Help with Bucci-Gross in the middle from Ackerman, number 46 in white. Will do a good job flipping out of the zone from Moriarty, and that will go towards the opposite trapezoid. It's Renzi to chase in after Gerard Keane. This guy, a former OHL product. Had 177 games with the London Knights. He cuts into the defense, and McMillan sticks it aside. Past two guys. He had a goal like that on Friday, as McMillan will hold this one as Ackerman presses on him.
Quick shout out to Bill Ackerman and Brendan McCall. How you guys doing out there?
You know those guys?
Yeah, I know those guys. Yeah, I used to play with them.
Rocco, it seems like everybody in this league knows you. You know, Louis DePato, the announcer for Embry-Riddle, gave you a shout out.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. I love Lou. Very, very good guy. Italian guy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Beautiful stuff. And Carter Baker is here for FAU. Skates out of that scrum in the near corner. Gets it lifted and tipped forward by Moriarty. This is held back into the zone by McCollum, a senior, one of many on this Ice Eagle crew, rather. Of course, we call them the Ice Eagles, as that's their trademark in college hockey south. Getting leveled, Connor Strum gets up to his feet. Sam Watson intercepts a man. They play out of the middle still, neither side able to possess for long. Connor Strum now carries out of the right wing. Shot on Obert into the glove side, and he'll gobble that up for a stoppage. Rocco, what stands out to you about, I don't know if you've seen this M3 too much this year, but some of these guys obviously you know on the team. What is the impact that guys like Renzi and Watson have on and off the ice?
I'll tell you what, they're the hardest workers out there. You know, we practice at the same time in the mornings. You know, they're over on this sheet, we're over on this one at the same time. But I'll tell you what, both of those guys, they are the first two on the ice, and they are the last two to leave the ice. So, you know that they're working hard. So it's definitely the leadership that they bring to this organization. It's really good.
Yeah, Andrew Yagoda said he wasn't expecting those guys to take another step this year, find another gear for this crew. They have not had the start, simply put, like they had last year, but they've done the majority of scoring, number 15 and 11 in red and blue. They win the faceoff draw. Watson kicked it towards Obert on that last chance. They center one up in front. Obert fought it off again. Boy, good opportunity there for Chris Iannicelli, and he can't find Pater. They keep it on side, though. This is Watson from the right wing. Backhanded towards the goal. Defended well. Loose in the slot. Baker wants to pick it up. Past one defenseman. Delayed penalty coming up here on the Ice Eagles. As racing to the bench goes Matt McMillan. This is Watson retreating from defenders, and now they'll touch it up in the middle from Ray Olson. What do we got? It's an interference call. It's the second consecutive of this game on Embry-Riddle, and they'll go to the power play.
See how the Owls do on the power play here.
You know, as a goaltender, Obert looks like a big body in net. Standing at 6 foot 175. What are the things that you have to do against a big netminder like that to find Pater?
Honestly, you just got to get the pucks in deep, and mostly scrums. In all honesty, the bigger guys, they take up a lot of the net. You know, so you got to get gritty goals on guys like that.
Yeah, they don't ask how, they ask how many, right? It doesn't matter how pretty it is.
Well, as long as it goes in, right?
Yeah, and Obert, a goaltender that struggled last year, hadn't won a game in the entire 24-25 season in goal, 0-9-1. But he is a veteran as the Owls look to break out of the neutral zone. A pesky defense by this Embry-Riddle group. Kai Ackerman is all over right now. Peter Petito joined this group from M2. Sam Watson over the line with Drew Renzi, far wing. Renzi skates wide. Wanted to park behind the goal. He's a one-timer feed, and Watson denied by Obert.
That is a prime opportunity right there, and you know, like we were just talking about, the way to score the goals is you got to get gritty with it, you know?
Yeah, well, you see how Renzi moves behind. He's the quarterback of that power play to say he likes to park behind the net, but that time he just finds a streaking Watson who's left all alone on the left wing. That's a great stop from Obert on the glove side. Those are a lot harder than you realize because of just the angle of attack. It comes at you quick.
Yeah, you know, you got to be able to transition into the right spot, you know, in the snap of a finger. So it's definitely not an easy save to make.
Good job by Embry-Riddle, though, keeping it to the outside, but in the middle. This one drop pass from Moriarty. Iannicelli almost lost his footing. This one's intercepted, and here comes short-handed the Ice Eagles. They've got a 3-on-2 developed. Left wing, Chancellor McMillan in and out of his pads, trying to fish it out on the attack. Zanto, and now he'll have to cover up with 42 to go in the man advantage. Right, just a weird sequence right there. They really didn't know what they were going to do with the puck on the far wing. Iannicelli ends up losing at the blue line, and this aggressive Embry-Riddle team went off to the races.
Yeah, you know, a couple bad bounces, and that puck can end up in your D zone. Luckily, McMillan here, he handled it very well.
Yeah, he's been handling rebounds really well all game so far. I know that's been a point of concern for Andrew Yagoda's squad to start this young season, sitting at 3-5-0-1. And they have dropped their last two to Kennesaw State and this Embry-Riddle team on Friday night. Carter Baker can't keep the zone, and look out. It's a near break up the far wing. Ray Olson with speed. He's got Luke in the middle, and good job defensively. Watson, though, he still has it. Fed him a backdoor and went off the skate of Luke, and he'll have to chase it to the near corner. That'll all but kill up this power play time. Ice Eagles look like they're on one themselves. They'll retreat out to the neutral zone with Gerard Keene. And dump it deeper. 0 for 2 go the Owls tonight. Carter Baker, big hit laid out in the far wing. Luke smashed him face first on the boards. Watson gets worked over by Jake Filler. Carter Baker's over there. Knifed along by Olson deeper. Watson cutting in. Baker gets to it. A tie up in the far boards, and it's scooped out by Olson. Back up top. Good job by Peter Petito. Feeds Renzi just through his hip check, and Obert leads this deeper to the middle slot. Cullum nearly had it worked over by Renzi on that pesky forecheck. And now the Ice Eagles unable to hold it out. Great play at the line there from Barry, but they ultimately still retreat back. This is some great pressure by FAU right now. You didn't see a whole lot of this in that first. It was mostly Embry-Riddle with the quality scoring chances. Wholesale changes for the Ice Eagles. They'll get a brand new line out there. Defense working for the Owls. Out comes Bryce Malcolm. Carter Baker had it stolen away. Petkovic put it deeper. And now up this left wing, they'll play it out to the neutral zone. Sent back. Boy, fast start to this game. It's been a very quick pace. 13:48 to go. Devin Serra joined in the booth by Rocco Bruno. Goaltender for the M2 squad. Next time you see this M2 squad, they will play against this Embry-Riddle team in the Battle at the Beach.
That's correct. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited. We got to win it 3 years in a row here.
That's right. You guys went back-to-back. Obviously, last year, bit of a different look for this tournament. You're going to play in a mixed bag with some different M3 teams, Tampa, Lynn, and, well, your rivals, Lynn. We're now M3 squad. And
that's correct.
Embry-Riddle.
I'm going to take the trophy golfing before the tournament.
One last send-off before you got to fight for it?
Yeah, I did it last year, so I might as well do it again.
There you go.
It's good luck. You know, it's good luck.
It seems so. Good luck on the golf course, you mean? Good luck on the ice. I'm sure you're hoping for more.
I wish I was good at golf, in all honesty.
Me too.
No one's ever good at golf. They just suck less.
All right, well spoken. We're going to put this puck in front of the Embry-Riddle zone. It was iced by the Ice Eagles. Now, if you're looking at this, the far goaltender for FAU, where do you feel like this puck needs to go with the top line?
In the back of the net. Not
Well
exactly
said.
sure how just yet.
Well said.
That's where it's got to go.
I think you made a point earlier just about how they need to get kind of a dirty goal, get one to the front of the net, and
Let's get bodies in front.
Yeah.
Let's get some bodies in front. Take away his eyes.
Might get chaotic for Obert to see, unable to hold the line. That was Moriarty. It just skated past. This is going to be called icing, though, anyway, so maybe better he did not get to that puck. Check that, Michael Terry, number 12.
Get another offensive zone face-off here. Let's see what we can do off the draw.
You haven't seen this FAU team cycle high to low a whole lot. It seems like they've really had a tough time getting their passes cleanly met from that spot, but they have done a good job, like you said, getting Obert sometimes out of position. It's when they need somebody on the back door to punch it home that they have not gotten in front
The
of
opportunities are there. You got a guy like Matt back in the net shutting it down.
And they've needed him to, as Embry-Riddle outshot them 9-8 that period. But they had more of the high-quality chances. Look out, Terry fanned on a dump attempt. This develops an almost 3-on-2. Put in the middle through the back of the defenders. I think McMillan got a piece of that with his skate blade. Ice Eagles into the slot, defended well in front. And we've got a whistle, and it's a holding call. That was Bryce Malcolm parked out in front. We see going back to the bench And now to the doors, an Owl player. That is Michael Terry.
Scary Terry.
Scary times for Terry. He's going to the box to sit. This is the first power play for Embry-Riddle in this game. They were 3 for 8 on Friday nights in their 6-2 win. This one's dumped immediately by the Owls. Good start to the penalty kill. This group has had a lot of work. We've, of course, harped on it time and time again. They've been better in this game, though, not taking penalties. Up the far wing, Moriarty does a great job to box out Gerard Keane. He gets it back, though. Keane goes harder than that, trying to stuff it short side. Went off the side of the goal. Broken stick. Owls down to 3 guys, and they score! Darren Santo off the Owls' broken stick. Buccigross, no chance to defend, and like that, Embry-Riddle strikes in their 4th power play goal.
Unfortunately, that is a part of the game there, equipment failures.
Yeah, that's what led them to feed that right out in front for Zanto. They did a great job blocking shots until that went under the pads of McMillan. So a better start for the Ice Eagles. It's 1-0 with 11:39 to go in this second period. Had the opener against Florida Atlantic on Friday as well. Make that 2 for the senior out of Reddington, New Jersey, beating a fellow New Jersey guy in McMillan. Behind the goal, this one's fed along by Obert. Lifted along by Ray Olson. This goes out of play. And kind of a crushing one, considering we just said they did not take penalties for most of this game. But one like that where it's in the back of your net, how do you reset mentally if you're McMillan and this team?
You got to have the mind of a goldfish, Devin. You can't think about what's in the past because you can't change it, right? All you got to do is move forward and, get to the next play and do it well. Can't really think about it, especially from a goaltending perspective. I remember we talked about this on the College Hockey Mouth podcast. You got to have the mind of a goldfish. You go out there in the next play and you play like it didn't even happen.
And important that this young M3 team resets. It's been a problem for them at times when they get scored on. They have a tendency early in the year to kind of feel down about that, and all of the smoke was out of them after the 3rd Embry-Riddle goal on Friday. Ice Eagles hold the line, barely. Great job by Jake McCaw. He has the puck, skates to the middle, drop off,
Big
and a
save.
great stop.
Great save, Matt, great save.
And just held that far post really strong there.
From the athletic standpoint, the mentality is a huge part of the game, no matter what sport you're playing. And I do believe, from the goaltending standpoint, that the position is about 90% mental. 10% physical, 90% mental. It's all about how you react, right?
I wonder if something about mental is McMillan's all black pads. What do you think about his look here?
I think it's
this
a very
rivals
cool
you
look
for the best in this program.
I think it's a very cool look. I don't know if anyone else has all black pads in this league, but I'll tell you what, he's rocking them. He looks good in them.
I've only seen that one other time. We were at Nationals in St. Vincent, an M3 Acha team. Their goaltender said it's 6'5", and he had an all-black look. Of course, they had all-black jerseys, so you're basically looking at Darth Vader in net.
Yeah, that guy's scary just being 6'5", and then throw him in black pads.
He looked scary, unfortunately.
Intimidation factor right there, Devin.
Well, they played Lawrence Tech, and they were not very intimidated because they lost 8-1 in that game. Here's a shot.
Some people just looked the part.
That's right. Here's Obert fighting off a shot from Joseph Lozeritis. I misspoke his name in the first. He's wearing number 5, Lozeritis, in this game. Up the far boards, Bayona. Looks like there's a bottle cap or something laying on the ice.
Yeah, it looks like a stick bud.
Great call out there, yeah. All black.
Great save by Matt right there.
Matt,
Way to use the blocker.
Couple of big stops in these last 4 minutes. Of course, Embry-Riddle has the only goal of this frame. Here come the Owls, though. Barry over the line. Shot towards Obert. In and out of his glove, and then he'll fish it towards himself. And some pushing, some little shoving as an Owl falls in front of the net. Hunter Shermer is giving it to, that's Justin Lopes, number 20. And now they'll all skate away. We're halfway gone in this second frame. A solo game from Boca Ice Arena this weekend. And next weekend, this FAU crew, I believe they have a series with the College of Charleston. Stay tuned. Here come the Ice Eagles back into the attacking zone. Terry wanted to clear it along to the far wing. Held up by Santo, the only scorer of this game. Bank pass to himself for Murphy. Had it stolen away up left wing, rather right wing. In and out of the glove. This allows a chance for Comtois Tumen onto the attack. Stays on side. He gets worked over by 3 defenders. Shot towards the net, never got through as it was negated by Noah Kingsley to the opposite wing. And now defending out of his own zone, Malcolm. Look out, massive hit laid down. Santo, 23, 6-1 all in all. This is a really big Embry-Riddle squad. You can tell they play a pretty physical brand of hockey. They like to get the puck deep and win those battles.
Yeah, Devin, that hit looked like it sucked. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that.
Simply put, but well said. That is not a place head first into the boards.
No, it's not fun.
Of course, if you're wondering about a boarding call, he was a little off angle. Look out. Are going to call the Ice Eagles offside. They caught a break. And a very frustrated Michael Terry slams his stick to the ice. And FAU really is probably frustrated from that because they really have not generated sustained forecheck in this period like Embry-Riddle has. Just out of the neutral zone, it's been a lot of this back and forth, puck bouncing everywhere. And the Ice Eagles, more times than not, have gotten on side. This is a good job by James Janitek to get the puck free. Dumped it in. It's a race for it after is John Norton. Fed into the legs of Mitt Filler, number 98 in white. Carter Baker tries to defend the near blue line. Help coming from Norton. Send it deeper in. Piece of blubber still sitting out there. We've got a down Owl injured on the far wing. Trying to see, maybe that's Rothamich or Janitek 18. 7:47 to go. And it looks like Janitek. I missed what happened on this far wing.
Yeah, I missed it too.
See if we can
Looks
get
like it was high up in the face though.
A view down here, multiple cams on Owl TV. Oh, like an accidental collision there, Rocco.
No good, no good.
Eagle player was looking at the play coming from the middle of the blue line and then skated towards Janitek, and he just takes one up high, not looking.
No, those blindsided hits, they hurt the most because you can't brace yourself for them.
Yeah, and full disclosure, didn't look like the Ice Eagle did it intentionally. It was just kind of, it happens, right? Same place, same time.
Stuff happens. It's a very physical sport, you know.
And hope he's all right. This is already a banged up M3 team as it is. Andonovsky's been out of the lineup for a couple of games. They're still without Sam Carozzo, Joe Cañero. It's been a tough go for them early on this season. Dropping the last two, they've got to find some life. There's a nice shot on McMillan once, twice, and no rebound allowed.
Great stop there by McMillan.
Yeah, Lawless tried to get right in his face, and he's shoved away by Baker, and now a conversation ensues. See how multiple times, see, McMillan, maybe he doesn't make the stop right away, but he's always got it where he'll sort of like drop it, it looks like, put it in front of his pads, and then scoop it towards himself. Is that more of a reactionary teaching, or is that kind of instinctual?
Well, you know, it's I think everybody has their you know, their way of doing things. You know, and it's just maybe the way that Matt covers that puck and brings it in.
Sometimes you say, oh man, he's giving up a bobble. There's a nice
very good save by Matt. Great
that
save,
one was
Matt.
a beauty. No doubt about that, Rocco.
Flash in the leather right there. Love to see it.
7:12 to go in the second. And McMillan right now keeping his team in this one. It's been all Embry-Riddle for the last 5 or 6 minutes.
McMillan has been the anchor in this game so far, Devin.
And he was important last year as well. He was the main starter. Went 8-3-0 on the year, 3.02 goals against average, .901. Here's a chance for Petito. They need some life. This is Joseph Lozeritis, number 5, deep to the zone. Pinned to the Zamboni doors by Murphy. got it behind the goal. Lozeritis couldn't fish it out underneath Gerard Keene. And it comes out to the neutral zone where it's headed along with Alex Lesko. Put it in the pocket of Keene, who will retreat, the defenseman out of Chicago, Illinois. This is a junior. Played in 177 OHL games. He flips into the offensive zone. One-timer by Mahan, negated in front by the blocking Lesko. Now Owls find a lane. Lozeritis, soft touch, wanted to find Petito. He gets blockered out by Lawless, the alternate captain for Embry-Riddle. Mahan is in there. A tie-up in the far boards of the neutral zone. They'll get it onside towards the middle. Knifed out. This is a great shift for Alex Lesko. That's 3 times defensively he's negated the Ice Eagles. That one's going to hurt. Lozeritis takes one off the pads, but a nice glove stop again from McMillan with no rebound.
Very controlled. He makes it look easy.
Yeah, and that's an easy save to make, right? But it's a little more cautionary, just helping your team kind of get reset for a face-off.
Of course, yeah, especially when you have a guy crashing like that. You know, the pressure's there because you got to make sure that you get that save off cleanly. Can't afford a rebound in that situation.
Yeah, no kidding. He's been better as the season's gone on. A little bit of trouble in the opening week. Everybody does, though. The Owls open the season 2-0 against Miami. That's a long blue line chance. He also puts into his paraphernalia, takes the play along. And really, Andrew Yagoda talked about how his team didn't really help him out too much. There was a lot of defensive breakdowns for this M3 squad. They've cleaned up as of late. And even in the game Friday, they played a great game, Andrew Yagoda said, Rocco, except for 8 minutes. And that's all it took for Embry-Riddle to score 4 unanswered in the second and third and take that game in chance. Here's one sliding in, and a couple of bang-bang plays. Ray Olson hip-checked his own man, I believe, and Roman Luke. We're sort of settled in here. Like
you were saying with the 8 minutes, you let off the gas in a close game, and you could find yourself being down. So that's why it's really important. Keep that same energy throughout the entire game. Keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah, I know about you guys. You got to keep it pretty light over there. What do you guys do as sort of a team bonding when you're having an off week like this?
You have an off weekend. I mean, we're always hanging out with each other. We're such a tight-knit group. Whether we're at the fine establishments in Delray Beach or Boca Raton, we're all together. We all stick together, and we do everything together. So that's mostly what we spend our off weekends doing. Between other people's houses that we go to, it's a big team bonding team. It's a very tight-knit locker room, I'd say.
It's a great save by McMillan again, one-timer from Shermer. And you talk about team bonding, and you guys got to have a favorite restaurant picked out by now, right? Is it an Italian one?
Me personally, or for the team?
For the team.
Oh, the Standard.
Woo! Another great one by McMillan.
Great save by McMillan there.
That was Kai Ackerman. Embry-Riddle just unloading their best of the best on McMillan right now. That's twice he says no, with no big rebounds. I mean, you've said it time and time again now.
He's always in that position. I'll tell you what, that puck was below the net. It got swarmed out to the front. He was there at the top of his crease, ready for that puck.
Yeah, this is a big push by Embry-Riddle right now. They've really hemmed FAU in their zone all this second period, and now especially with these face-off draws, the Owls have got to find a way to win one of these. It's a veteran move. Sam Watson, great job bringing it up for Moriarty. He's just going to send it the length of the ice. Does it get past? It does. The Eagle netminder and Ryan Obert.
We'll bring it back to the D zone here. Let's see how FAU reacts to this D zone face-off here.
Last point I'll make about the restaurant. Our producer, Mitch Liswith, I asked him the other day, hey, do you have any suggestions for places to go? He gave me a couple. Have you ever been to Mateo's, Boca Raton?
My roommate actually has been to Mateo's. He swears by it. He says it's a very good restaurant. Okay. Very good restaurant. I personally have never had it. I'm more of a Martirano's guy in Fort Lauderdale. That's my go-to spot.
Sure. That's a lot of distance between two places, though. I feel like a lot of our supporters got to be in the Boca area.
Yeah. The Martirano's guy is from Philadelphia. So.
Do you know the guy?
I don't personally know the guy, but
okay.
he grew up in the same neighborhood as a lot of my parents' friends. So
here come the Owls. Drew Renzi Gets past one man. He'll stop behind the goal. He's hounded by McCormick, trying to free it in the middle. They don't get after it. Good job by Buccigross to fed it deeper. Sharp angle, feed in front. Looking for the streaking forward in Rothamich. It goes all the way around the boards, and it almost dumped it out of their own zone. They're going to say this is icing. So a rare offensive zone draw for this FAU group. They've got to find some sort of life.
We now see the tables have turned. Now it's FAU putting the pressure on Embry-Riddle here.
Yeah, and they've got the guys they want out there. Peter Petito, number 22, returning to the M3 team after playing what was going to be with this M2 squad for you guys early in this season. Joseph Lozaritis has had a solid start to the year. Number 5, you see him wearing. Boylston, Massachusetts sophomore. It's all out of the zone. Trying to get after the puck, calling Justin Lopes. Rather, Malcolm turned it over. Opportunity, and they score! The second goal for Zanto of this contest. And like that, they have a 2-goal advantage.
Grade A chances here from Embry-Riddle. The difference in the game is that, you know, they're capitalizing on those opportunities that they're getting.
Yeah, it looked like an Owl player fell with those far boards, Rocco, and it was basically one man back to defend that, and Malcolm, they don't get it out of the zone. Oh, what a feed in front. I'll have to hear on the announcement who that Ice Eagle player was that fed him from the half boards. Doesn't seem like there's much Matthew McMillan can do there, though, Rocco. He would have had to make a grade A stop to prevent that.
Yeah, you know, that's a very hard shot to stop. At the end of the day, it's right in the slot.
So it's 2-0 Ice Eagles. Here in the second, they've won 4 straight coming into this contest, and that's the first time an Embry-Riddle program has won 4 straight games since October of 2021. They had sweeps over USF in Miami way back in that 2020-21 season, or 21-22, excuse me. They come back on side. Darren Zanto, Bob Joyce, head coach for Embry-Riddle, called the most improved player on this Ice Eagle team from last year, has 3 in this series. This is Joseph Lozaritis, 2:25 to go in the period. He'll dump it in on the netminder, Obert, and it'll lead to a face-off draw. And you know, Rocco, explain to our viewers, is it an energy thing when you can't get a forecheck established after you let up a goal? What is stymieing FAU right now?
In all honesty, I just think it's the hunger factor, right? This Embry-Riddle team, they you know, they're jumping on pucks, they're winning the battles here. I think we need to see more hunger at FAU and a little bit more pep, and I think that, you know, this game will soon be tied.
Look out, break. They've got a 2-on-0 to the net, saved by McMillan. And no follow-up rebound allowed. Getting smushed over was McCaw on the follow-up chance. They keep the forecheck anyway. Go from low to high. One-timer. Blocked in front, but no, it got redirected tight. That came from Petkovic. Hit a white sweater in front. And that's one McMillan's not going to love. It's 3-0 Ice Eagles.
Tipped at the last second.
I thought the shot nearly got blocked down in front. That's another goal allowed off an FAU offensive draw and a killer. They don't hold the neutral zone. Break this down for us, Rocco, if you can.
The winger gets out there, you know, and he's puts his body on the line for that puck. Unfortunately, you know, he just happened to miss it. And unfortunately, there was a tip in front. When there's traffic in front, I mean, especially from a goaltender's perspective, it's extremely hard to stop that if you can't see it, first of all. And then you throw in a redirection. This is an unfortunate situation, but, you know, a couple bounces here, a couple bounces there. That's how goals get scored in this game.
The bounces all going Embry-Riddle's way. They have 3 goals in this second period alone. We'll see who that's credited for at the break.
It looks like FAU is going to get a power play here, interference call.
That was clear as day. Petkovic.
Absolutely.
Held up, looked like Iannicelli.
This is going to give FAU a little bit of momentum here. Let's see how they handle it.
Yeah, they need one badly right now.
Yes,
0 for 2 on the man advantage. The only power play for Embry-Riddle was scored by Devin Serra, who's got 2 in this game. Reddington, New Jersey native. So let's see. It's the 3rd interference call, strangely enough, on Embry-Riddle tonight.
Yeah, a lot of interfering tonight, huh?
Yeah, and that's the 2nd consecutive interference on Petkovic in particular. So they have not done a great job with players without the puck. 1:45 left in the power play, 1:13. 30 seconds separate power play and game clock as this trickles in on Obert, and he's going to smother it up as you saw Renzi chasing it after him.
You see FAU's game plan here, just get the puck to the net, you know. Just keep getting chances, just get the puck to the net, and then, you know, we'll look for a scrum after. Renzi taking the draw here.
Soft win by the Eagles, but they're pinned back to the trapezoid. They can't find a lane to clear it out. That's Kingsley getting hounded over. All's freed up. Baker's over there with Watson. Carter Baker, great job holding the blue line. Watson comes in to help. Baker has it now between his twig, finds some space. Drops it for Watson. Now Renzi behind the goal. Renzi for Watson, one-timer, fought off by Obert. And Baker can't hold the blue line in for that dump out, so they have to retreat to the neutral zone. Almost the tag up, they get it back on side. Baker, rather Lozeritis in 5. 27 to go in the period. They need one right here. Power play. Baker to Lozeritis. Left side, swing it. Watson to Renzi. Looks for his options. Right wing, that's Petito. Petito miscommunicated with Carter Baker, and he has to come all the way out. One more zone entry chance they'll have. Lozeritis with Renzi back there into the skates. Doesn't find him, and the Ice Eagles will play keep away, and that will
huge hit.
Expire time. Lozeritis laid it on Stephen McCormick, but a frustrated Carter Baker slams his stick. It's been that kind of period. 3 goals, 1 on the power play and 2 in this contest from Darren Zanto. And the tip shot late in this one has an Ice Eagle advantage. We'll bring you back in 15 minutes time. Rocco, thank you. You can stay if you want, but it's up to you.
Thanks, Devin. I think I'm gonna go. Head down to the locker room over there. See how the guys are feeling. All right.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
here on
so much
TV.
for having me, Devin.
Good
Always
luck
a pleasure.
in the battle at the beach as well.
Thank you so much. Yep. Super excited for that. Ready to get back out there. You know, I've only had 1 weekend off, but man, do I already miss it.
Absolutely, and you'll have one more off week before that tournament, so we'll see you then. Thank you,
All right,
Rocco.
thanks so much.
We'll return in 15 minutes time. You're watching Embry-Riddle and Florida Atlantic on Owl TV. We're into the witching hour in the third period from Boca Ice Center in South Florida. 3-0. Embry-Riddle leads with 3 unanswered goals, all in the second period, and one of them on the power play. Devin Serra with you riding solo. We were just joined by M2 FAU goaltender Rocco Bruno. Thanks to him again for coming on the broadcast. But he witnessed FAU outshot in that period 15-7, and only 1 penalties taken by the FAU crew tonight. That's a season low, by the way, through 2 periods. But all that matters on the score sheet is 1, because that's how many Embry-Riddle had on the man advantage. Capitalizing Darren Zanto, his 3rd goal of the weekend, following up the first of this period. Last period, Jake McCall has 2 assists in this game, the sophomore out of Philadelphia, who was in a scrum with Lozeritis at the end of the game yesterday, and Lozeritis was roughed up in a hard way in the first. There's been a lot of question marks about how FAU's defensive structure has looked, but Mac McMillan has stood tall in this game. The latest goal, though, scored by Travis Petkovic on a redirected shot from the point. An own owl sweater. Tried to defend that and block the shot, sliding from right to left, and it went off, I'm told, the dome, the helmet of the FAU player, and behind McMillan. Nothing you can do about an unfortunate tip right there. So he has been steady, saving 21 of 24, and Ryan Over didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot in that period. Owls, though, will start on a man advantage for 29 seconds on the interference call. The latest goal scorer, Travis Petkovic. This will be the first of a couple M3 contests for this FAU crew coming up for them. They're going to play in the Battle at the Beach tournament in 2 weeks' time from the Panthers Ice Den. Then they'll take on, with Miami ACDC, Lynn University, Tampa, and Clemson. Lynn, Tampa, and Clemson, all M3 teams. So we have a delay pause for the ice crew staff trying to clean up a spill in the center of the ice. That's what this delay is for. Now they'll skate that away to the Zamboni doors until we resume play. And for this FAU team, not the start they wanted to their season, obviously. 3-5-0-1. They have been really tough. Had some tough goes. They've had some losing streaks in the middle. Kennesaw State they lost last week, a heartbreaker in comeback Kennesaw State fashion. 6-4 final, and then 6-2 on Friday night. The Ice Eagles, though, this program has really turned it around. 4 wins on the year for them. 4-5-0, 2-3 in division play. They only won 5 games last year as an M2 program, and they had a really gauntlet-like schedule through most of that season, which saw them ultimately make nationals and bow out quite big fashion in all of those games. And tonight, this M3 team for FAU, Andrea Gooda has said they're basically defending the national title for that M2 squad from last year, because this is all the competition that M2 Owl team faced a year ago. So M3, they've got to get dirty here and find a way to get one towards the net. 15 seconds to go in the power play. This trickles in on Obert like it has many times tonight for a soft stoppage of play. And the way that they've been able to generate offense has been through this top group. They are the power play, of course, but Sam Watson has had, I've counted, 3 shots on goal in this game. Peter Petito, 22, has only 1 of 2 Owl goals this weekend, as that one from the point is sent wide off the stick of Michael Terry. And Drew Renzi has assisted on both of those. So you look at where they're getting production from, it's all been this top group. Power play is over. Out of the box goes Petkovic. He's replaced quickly, though, by Ryan Olson. And FAU has got to dig deep here. They have got to find some way to generate chances on Obert. Put one on the goal. Moriarty did that and sent it just wide. Iannicelli looking for the tip. Sam Watson defended, held on side. Great job by Buccigross. That allows Iannicelli to get in the middle. He's got Watson parked out front. Wanting to feed it for one more. Petito, and a great stop by Ryan Obert. That was his best of this contest. What A save off of Peter Petito, looking for his second on the weekend. And he's foiled on the one-timer. Boy, talk about a goaltender that's been through some days. Product of St. Vianney High School in Missouri. Played with the AA St. Louis Sting from 21 to 23. And he had an absolutely petrifying 24-25 season. He only played in 10 games in the regular season and lost all of them. 0-9-1 on that season. And that's tough for any player to go through, let alone a goaltender where it's mostly a mental game. But the junior out of St. Louis, he has bounced back in a terrific way. Right now holding FAU without a goal on 17 shots through this contest. It's a race for it to the end boards. Joseph Lozaridis takes a hit, absorbed from Kingsley. Help coming with Rothamich, rather Renzi on the back end. Trying to work it free was Gerard Keene, or rather Ackerman, Kai Ackerman. Owls get it free though. Renzi backdoor! Rothamich sent the puck wide. That was it right there. He gets it back, however. The captain puts it off the skate of an Ice Eagle and McCormick out front. And all the way back, they have to retreat. Rothamich instantly looked to the heavens because he knew he just missed on a golden opportunity. Ice Eagles gain the red line. They need wholesale changes. Shermer goes off after the dump in. They're going to whistle this and say he didn't gain the red line? No, it's going to stay in the all zone. It went out of play. Don't have a color man to correct my mistakes. We appreciate all of you listening from South Daytona, Greater Florida, wherever you are, on Owl TV. Rebound given up by McMillan on the short side. Ice Eagles nearly pounced on that puck. Zantel looking for the hat trick, and we've got a whistle in the near corner. What's coming up here? Is this another one they deem out of play? We've had some odd stoppages in this game. In the first period, FAR official motioned for a cross-checking penalty, and then they kept the teams at 5-on-5. Still stumped about exactly what that was for. Zanto from a sharp angle. That one is well out of play, so we'll do the draw again off the stick of Matt McMillan. And for the Owls, their biggest problem, maybe defensively, is the fact that the neutral zone, they've allowed 2 goals now on breakdowns where they were winning face-off draws in the offensive zone and then immediately gave it up at the blue line. So they've had some breakdowns in this game where it's really been a solid 5-on-5 effort from them. Of course, they've kept the penalties down, only 1 on them in this game, but they just have not been able to generate a lot of sustained forecheck, because that's a stick save by Obert. That goes out of play. And if you're the Ice Eagles, you're loving the fact that they have capitalized on the chances they've gotten for those fast breaks. They've put a lot of shots on McMillan, not always the most high quality, but in the second period, they definitely won that period, not just in the score, but the shot attempts and the high quality scoring chances. It's an offensive zone draw lost by the Eagles. Alex McCollum, a steady Eddie defensive senior out of Jamestown, New York, leads it for Travis Petkovich. This decor for Embry-Riddle, much improved from a season ago. They lost some really notable forwards. The only defenseman that I could count on this roster they lost was Derek Costanzo, who's now behind the bench. DC3, they call him over there in Daytona. Onside come the Owls. Watson gets past the defense on Obert, and he says no, hugging the near post. Watson has done everything under the sun to try and score on this Ice Eagle netminder. He's been foiled on one-timers. Got around the defenders, trying to stuff it short side. That wouldn't go. And this FAU crew come back out here for another offensive zone draw. Joseph Lozaridis, wearing number 5, will take it against Kai Ackerman. Lozaridis won it for a moment. Renzi tried to slap it deeper. Goes that way anyway. Ackerman from the trapezoid looking for a man on the far wing. McCaw turned away. Kept deeper by Malcolm. Dancing with the puck behind is Keene. Gerard, the OHL product. Rothamich. Nothing but white sweaters in the deeper part of the zone. Keene will hook. Misdirect the defense. Shermer gets it for Keene. He had 2 goals in their win Friday. Cuts wide, put a shot that way wide. Now Ice Eagles set up the forecheck. Left wing chance, a shot on McMillan, blockered away off of Shermer's stick. Fight in the far part of the ice. Keene worked over by Malcolm. Can't get it out of the zone, however. They hold a shot on McMillan, blockered in front by Terry. Owls desperately need a clear. They have been on the ice for way too long. They're tired. Ice Eagles jump on that line change. They'll drop it off. A shot attempt from the right side. They look for the wraparound, and they score. Jake McCaw, their leading scorer from a year ago, capitalizes on that line change, and it's 4-0. Embry-Riddle. Had all of the Owls in the box. Nobody could pick up that weak side. As McMillan played that side of the ice. That is a tough goal to give up, and that might just be all Embry-Riddle needs to close out this game. That's 3 points in this contest for the sophomore center out of Philadelphia. Assists on the power play goal by Zanto, and then the tip shot off of Petkovic. And with that wraparound, Embry-Riddle trying to make it 5 straight wins on their young season. My records, I could not find the last time they won 5 straight games. They only had a 4-game winning streak back in the 2021-22 season when they had sweeps over Miami and USF. This is some real unprecedented territory for a program led by Bob Joyce, long-time coach. Owls trying to set up a shot. Iannicelli, rather Comtois Tuman, put one way over the goal. And so nothing will come out of that. Andrea Goda's squad has got to be gutted. They have been very disciplined tonight. They have not taken a lot of penalties. But in the game of hockey, there's a lot of different ways to score, and Embry-Riddle's done it in just about every way tonight in this game. They've had some bounces, power play goal. Zanto has been great, 3 goals this weekend for the Reddington, New Jersey senior. Owls try to hold the blue line. They do for a moment, nearly stolen away by the captain for Embry-Riddle, Luke. It's flooded in the middle. Golden opportunity to bang past Obert. They can't do it. It's a wrestling match in front of the goal. Down on the ice, Justin Lopes into it with an eagle. They're going to send for sure Lopes here. Lopes had a great chance in front of Obert. Couldn't stuff it home. Once again denies him. He is down on the ice with Noah Kingsley, the junior defenseman. They're both going to go to the box, so this will be some open ice with 14-19 left in this game. They were down on each other for a while before the VAR official finally came and said that's enough. These officials have let them go tonight. So with open ice, down by a lot, this FAU crew will get a fresh line out there. They'll put Drew Renzi, Peter Petito, Watson, and the lone man at the point, Connor Strum, on this open ice. The face-off, though, is won by the Ice Eagles. So we'll go to 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. Can they find a way to break through? Here comes deep to the zone, putting a shot off the pads of McMillan, Rowan Luke. Their captain had a goal Friday off a face-off and a rebound given up by Seth Fisher. Owls try to set up on the forecheck, and it's turned over. Racing Alex McCullum off the burners. Has Luke in the middle. Owls got back on the defense well. Some open ice allows them to stretch the play. Here's Petito, drops it for Watson in the middle. Renzi, back for Petito. He gets hounded over, and Petkovic finishes the check on him. That allows an open man in Ray Olsen to get onside. Fit it right side, sharp angle, try way over the net from Rowan Luke, out of play. Some defensive mishaps. That's what happens when you get aggressive on the forecheck. And for FAU, it's just been that kind of game where every time they get a golden look on Ryan Obert, makes a great stop. The rush chance the other way. Embry-Riddle has not had a difficult time entering the zone in this contest all game long. Jake Buccigross fights for that puck free. Got help with Rothamich. This is Moriarty onside with Rothamich. Fed it back to him, and Moriarty, it went through his skates. Picking it up on this near side. Racing is Lawless for the Ice Eagles. Sends one long on McMillan, and he'll gobble it up. 13:07 left in the contest. 48 left in the 4-on-4. And talking about this Embry-Riddle schedule, we mentioned they could have a chance to go throwing a massive comeback here. 5 straight wins. This will be their final weekend before the battle at the beach. They'll take on Florida Atlantic M2. So 3 straight games against Owl opponents. October 25th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. From Coral Springs, Florida, the Panthers Ice Den, the former home of that M2 program for FAU. Stick lifted McMillan negated the chance in tight. Dancing around defenders. Shot, backdoor, loose in the crease and picked away. Owls don't get it out though. Stolen back by Gerard Keane. Now a break the opposite way. 1 man to beat. Owls are changing, going towards the net. Keane knifes it away. Delayed penalty coming up here on the Ice Owls. Getting barreled over. That's Connor Moriarty, rather Jake Buccigross. And now he'll get up. Lawless took him to the boards. And Buccigross was trying to get inside positioning. Lawless prevented it. So he's going to sit. There was 11 seconds left in the 4-on-4. I believe the penalty is going to be for interference. So whatever life FAU has in this game, it's got to happen right now for them. They'll have 11 seconds of 4-on-3. Renzi, Petito, Carter Baker, and Sam Watson against 3 white sweaters. They don't win the faceoff, getting barreled over the big body Petkovic. And help on the clear by Sean Murphy. That's been the kind of story. This is a tough, physical Embry-Riddle team. And this FAU squad has really struggled this season against teams that are bigger than them in size. Here they come, though, on the power play. Watson trying to free it up. Carter Baker back for Watson. One more time, feeds Petito on the left side of the ice. Watson takes a look towards the net. Went behind for Renzi, wanting some misdirection. Baker, they've got to get one on net here. Watson wide. Ice Eagles keep him to the outside. Connor Strum enters the power play. He gets hounded. Sean Murphy on a great kill. Chasing after it, Zanto shorthanded. He's got 2 goals, 23 in white in this game. FAU just trying to establish their forecheck. I've not had a lot of success. Drew Renzi back for Baker, and it was foiled by Zanto. Out to the neutral zone it goes. Strum through the legs on Watson, and they give it right back to the Owls. Petkovic had the 3rd goal in this contest for Embry-Riddle at the end of the 2nd. They'll get a fresh line change, 46 to go in the Owls' 4th power play chance of the night. They're 0 for 3. Watson, the captain, gets onside, past 1 defender. Ice Eagles swarm that side of the ice, and a stand by Ray Olson. That's a winger who just said, "Get out of here," to the Owls captain, rather. What a kill for Embry-Riddle. They simply deflated. All of the air that was in this FAU team is gone. They have really looked stymied. This is a nice move. Renzi to the net. Obert fights him off. Backhanded. Baker in and out of his glove from McCormick. 0 for 4 goes the Owls. One more opportunity. Baker trying to get past the defender, and he's boxed out by Kingsley as it slides in on Obert. For this Ice Eagles squad, led by Bob Joyce, Anthony Gallant, Bill Thompson, former player Derek Costanzo on the bench as well. General manager Ken Burns and Regina Burns. What a turnaround for this program. They look the part. We've seen a couple of physical teams this year. Miami, USF, most recently Kennesaw State, and they looked the part. Sharp angle try into the netting, out of play. That was Gerard Keane, the former Ontario Hockey League prospect. Played for the London Knights. We've said his name a lot tonight. He was looking for his 3rd of the weekend. But if Embry-Riddle can stay the course, if they can play this physical brand of hockey, they've got an opportunity to make some noise in M3. They'll take on, as we mentioned, Lynn, Tampa, and FAU M2 in the battle at the beach. Miami they have to start November, and then UCF and a trip all the way to Niagara to close out the first semester. There are some very winnable games in there for this team, most notably the likes of Lynn University. I know it was a tough start, but they played the best of the best in their opening part of the year. Tampa's a really good squad. And what's important to, maybe not even important to know, but Embry-Riddle was involved in a game with Tampa where one of their defenders flipped a puck into the rafters at Clearwater Ice Arena and knocked out one of the sprinkler alarms. Look out, Ober gets barreled over, and a crowd is going to gather on top of an owl. Iannicelli gets in there, Sam Watson. That was Connor Moriarty, who collided with Ryan Obert. He looks like he's okay. He's going to throw a stick. He is very upset. As still some more grabbing. Watson's got a handful of an Ice Eagle who loses his footing. That's Hunter Shermer. Both linesmen are going to carry them away now. What a scrum. Moriarty was trying to fight for that puck as Obert came out of the left side of his net to play that puck, and Moriarty was trying to get around him. And so let's see how they're going to assess this one. You saw on your screen the shoving match with Watson and the opposing Shermer. Lost an edge. That is par for the course late in these games where FAU has been down by a couple. And they're not going to like it, but they're going to send at least Shermer and Watson to the box. Coincidentals going up. Don't know if Moriarty gets any as well. Iannicelli came in there as well. There's currently 2 Owls sitting in the box. That's Watson on the right, Moriarty on the left. So 2 Owls sit. The conversation ensues. 9:24 to go in this game. Devin Serra, brief game recap. Darren Zanto had the opening tally early in the second on a power play. What has been their only man advantage chance they capitalized on. They followed that up later in the second, assisted with Sean Murphy, who made a great feed to the slot from the half boards. FAU was defending that far side of the ice. And then late in the second, after FAU had some momentum going with a power play chance they didn't score on, that was all taken out by Travis Petkovic. Was also assisted by Jake McCaw, who had the latest goal on a really nice shot past McMillan on the right side of the ice. It's been a tough go of it in the 5-on-5 for FAU. Embry-Riddle has looked like the bigger team, the more physical team. They've gotten all of their lines involved, especially on the defensive side. And Florida Atlantic, besides their top line, they really have not done a whole lot to generate quality scoring chances. This program led by Bob Joyce. Their only Nationals appearance, Embry-Riddle, was back in the 2020 season. They had a really tough last 2 years, going 5-16-2 last year. The year before that, 10-14-2. They did win 15 games in 22-23, but still finished middle part of the College Hockey South Division. And this year in a pool that has as many as 17, 18 teams, this is a crew that can really, with now what's going to be, barring a miracle comeback by FAU, a sweep of them, and now 5 straight wins on the year. And after upsetting USF, that could pay dividends when we're talking about who exactly is going to play in that College Hockey South M3 tournament come February. They're a sneaky good club. They've got a stud in Gerard Keane. Darren Zanto can shoot the puck. Rowan Luke, their captain, leads the way. He's a physical forward. And with some seniors, the likes of Archibald, Luke, McCullum, and Zanto, I really feel like this Embry-Riddle team is set up for good things in the future. We appreciate you listening with us on Owl TV. Next time you'll hear from us will be when FAU takes on the College of Charleston. That's an AAU opponent. Next weekend, M3. And then after that, the Battle at the Beach. You can watch that on College Hockey South YouTube. Fortunately enough, our FAU program, this Owl TV crew, will help broadcast that tournament. You can catch our producer, Mitch Liswith, running the sticks. We'll have possibly me or one of the appointed broadcasters on one side of the ice. You'll be able to see all of that action October 25th and 26th at the Coral Springs Florida Rink, Panthers Ice Den. FAU fans know it well. Embry-Riddle folks, it's a little bit of a hike for you guys, about I think 3 or 4 hours. This has been a really long stoppage. There's no signal of an issue with the ice. They're really just trying to issue out the penalties in this case. The only ones that are assessed on the board right now are Watson for FAU, Hunter Shermer for Embry-Riddle. And as we skate away from all of that, we're seeing 4 Ice Eagle sweaters in white. FAU still not sure who they're going to put out on the ice. I wonder if there was a timeout called, and that also extended the pause in this break. It's been a quick-paced game, luckily for us. And so Owls will get an offensive zone draw. The officials call them back to the dots. Andrea Goda giving a real stern conversation to his top group. It's a growing process. They're going to have some more pains before they have more growth. And they got to just find some life in this game when they've been so far shut out. A 4-on-4 ice for the next 2 minutes. 9:19 to go in this game. Here come the Ice Eagles. Keene gets around one defender. Centering feed for Zanto. Has it turned over as the Owls have numbers the other way. Patino in the middle with Renzi. Fed it to him. Renzi never got a shot off. He's intercepted by Sean Murphy. And Murphy starts to break out the opposite way. In comes Gerard Keene. Moriarty pushes Murphy deeper. Help on the back end with Bucci Gross. He's got some open ice to work. Turns left wing. Over the Boca Ice logo. Turned away by Zanto. Now deeper. Given to the Eagles defender and Keene. To his opposite D-man, Lawless. They'll get onside cleanly. Murphy in the middle trying to feed Lawless, and it was too strong for him. Up at the point, turned over. Here's a break for the Owls. Drew Renzi, gotta have it on one man. He gets worked over and never got a clean shot. Owl fans want a penalty. None will come. What a job defensively, and what a shift by the junior defenseman Gerard Keene. And if you're wondering, this is something I asked Bob Joyce before the game started. Gerard Keene can play for this Embry-Riddle team because of the new rules instated from the CHL and the OHL that players from Canada can now play in the NCAA. And because of that, there's a trickle-down effect of talent. Or Keene, who went to Embry-Riddle for academic purposes. We'll get to that story in a moment. Here come they again. Pad stop by McMillan off the stick of Olsen. They try to rush up left wing. This is Iannicelli getting rubbed out by Petkovic. And now Olsen will calmly direct this puck. To finish the point, Keene went to school for just that. Pilot school in Embry-Riddle. But because he is now eligible from those rules, he can play for this ACHA program in Division III. A very cool story, and it's just showing the impact that now players that are coming from the Ontario League, from the Western Hockey League, can play in NCAA, and as such they can play in the States here and show off some of that talent. Owls have the zone with Carter Baker at the wall. They've got to get something. Tipped on towards the goal by Lopes, never got through. It was negated and sent out of play by Rowan Luke. With 7:01 to go in this hockey game, Lopes has his stick knocked away. No call will come of that. And what a job defensively tonight for Embry-Riddle by Travis Petkovic. Has a goal in this game rewarded with the Niagara Falls, Canada native. Kai Ackerman has been all over the forecheck. The Atco, New Jersey native, playing like an alternate captain. Owls win the draw, get it towards Oberman, or rather Obert, and Renzi could not pick up the loose puck on the pad stop. Watson in there to direct it deeper. Bayona goes after it in the far corner. Watson wants to feed it out front. He's hounded by Luke. The captain will spring it around the boards, gets past Moriarty and out to the opposing trapezoid. Icing is waved off. Embry-Riddle will change their entire line. He finds Renzi. Skates on side, gave it up to McCall. Get around Watson. Help on the back end with Moriarty, gets past him. One man to beat, and Baker cuts to the net. And McMillan kept him from getting a quality shot off. McCormick, call might have overskated that puck. He's got a goal, the latest to start the period, and assisted on 2 goals tonight. Could be looking at your player of the game, so to speak. Time is dwindling down. Stephen McCormick has it out of Virginia. Turned over. Moriarty off of Obert's pads. And Renzi cannot believe he stopped that one. What a job by Ryan Obert in this game. A veteran. 6 foot 175, the junior. No matter what happens from here, this is a heck of a performance from a goaltender that didn't win a game last year in net. This Embry-Riddle program really struggled. Blown out in multiple games. They really could not compete with a lot of the Division II teams among the conference. And Bob Joyce said it firmly. This is not a program where we're hard on these guys. This is a stress reliever for all of us. And that's how the game should be played, honestly. It should be played for fun. That's what they try and do at Embry-Riddle. Here's a shot towards McMillan, knifed away. Getting after it, Thor Vogan, the freshman, out of Lakeville, Minnesota, gets it behind the goal. And Owls take it away from the slot. They don't gain the red line. It's going to be a race for the icing. It's waved off. Owls got there first. In after it on the forecheck is John Norton. Norton slides it up for Moriarty, number 3 in red and blue. Petkovic calmly directs it to the opposite wings, trying to fight for the puck desperately. Comtois Tuman carrying with it Daniel Lawless. He'll stop, wait for options, intercepted. Comtois Tuman would have had a golden chance. Rothamich wanted a return feed. They miscommunicated. Now the opposite way, trying to get onside. Zanto loses an edge. Turned over off the stick of Strum. He'll crunch to the boards. A shot comes anyway, and he put it wide of goal. They have the zone in. Ray Olson towards McMillan. Santo desperately trying to get the hat trick. Owls will win this race for the puck at the red line. Comtois Tuman on a tired shift will go off. Give it back for Gerard Keene. Keene gets away from the Owls' Rothamich. And they'll break it out. Far wing, Olsen onside. Centering feed cut off. Owls do a better job defensively that time, but time is running out. 4-0, handedly led by Embry-Riddle. 3 different goal scorers in this game. Luke gets to the net. McCollum was posted in the slot, went past his stick. They hold it onside. That one's blockered away off the skates of Michael Terry. Florida Atlantic is going to have to do some soul searching as they get ready for College of Charleston. And then ultimately a battle at the beach tournament. As this puck trickles in on McMillan, will play against Florida Tech to start their tournament on October 25th. They'll be in the beach division, so both Florida Atlantic teams will be featured. M2 representing the battle division, M3 representing the beach division. Catch all of those games on College Hockey South's YouTube channel. Exactly that, CHS YouTube. And Embry-Riddle, next time we see this group, will battle the M2 team. Same day, it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. This is going to be a very impressive win for them. Maybe even more so than their overtime win over USF. Bob Joyce, they can be very proud of how their team played defensively. They completely shut down FAU in that second period despite taking a few penalties. Their kill was great. They got their forwards activated. The defense came in when they needed to. This is Hunter Shermer, number 27. Trying to work it free for the Owls was Lesko unsuccessfully, but Renzi came in there to help in the near corner boards. Miscommunication with Lopes. They've got some dogs for Embry-Riddle over there. Jake Filler was all over the ice. Kai Ackerman, Travis Petkovich, you name it. They had some really stout defensive performances. They looked like the bigger team all series. And for FAU, they're going to continue the soul searching. Andrea Goda's squad has the skill as there's an arm in the air. And we've got perhaps the last penalty of the night. Did they say go offside? It's so tough to tell when you see the far official. The linesman usually is the one that calls it. So we'll get a draw anyway, 5-on-5. Embry-Riddle was a perfect 4 for 4 on the man advantage, or the man down this game. Here's a chance for Iannicelli. He put a shot well wide off the right post. Sean Murphy gets it deeper. Moriarty. They're going to improve to 5-5-0-0 on the year. FAU is going to fall to a measly 3-6-0-1 and 2-4 in division play. Meanwhile, Embry-Riddle, for the first time in a long time, will be back at 500. And Ice Eagle fans, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a couple of years since they've been able to do that. There's a quick shot on McMillan into the glove from Murphy. We're not going to say what the word is for Ryan Obert, but you know what we're thinking. 1:14 to go. It's a 4-0 game. And what a story for a goaltender that got the worst of a team that struggled last year. Lucas Holland and Ian Holland, the other goaltenders, not related by the way, played in a lot of the starts as well last year. Ian Holland got the majority of wins. Lucas played in one game last year, and he backed up, Lucas did, Ryan Obert tonight. And Obert, I'll give him his flowers. He wasn't just okay. He had to have been great at times. But one last rush. Short side. Pad stop from Rothamich. Ice Eagles can't get it out of the zone. Held on. This is Lozeritis 5 on Obert. And out of his stick into the glove. He'll glove this down. 42 seconds left for the junior out of St. Louis, Missouri. Product of St. Vianney High School. 10 games last year, went 0-9-1. Went .890 save percentage, .496 goals against average. And he was particularly good in the third period here. This FAU group is going to really have to reset for an AAU opponent and then the battle at the beach. Playing keep away is Gerard Keene with 21 to go. They'll get it deeper to the zone. FAU's Bryce Malcolm after it. 12 seconds to go. Turning around, Lawless. And for the first time in a long time, Embry-Riddle has won 5 straight games, and the shutout for Ryan Obert. Embry-Riddle comes into Boca, and they win this game 4-0 over Florida Atlantic. Hugs all around for the junior netminder. What a performance from him. 20-plus save night for the junior netminder. Bob Joyce, Anthony Gallant, and Bill Thompson leading what is a turnaround start to the season for Embry-Riddle. They get the sweep over Florida Atlantic. improved to 5-5-0-0 on the campaign, 3-3 in division play. Florida Atlantic, meanwhile, is going to fall to 3-6-0-1, 2-4 in the College Hockey South Division 3. And final goal totals, 2 for Darren Zanto, 3 on the weekend. One of those was on the power play as well. He had the opener in both games this weekend. Player of the game, though, Jake McCall, goal and 2 assists for the center out of Philadelphia. Number 19 scored the last one, that assisted on Zanto's power play goal, and the third one, which was scored by Travis Petkovic on a redirected shot. Final power play numbers, 1 for 1, perfect. Goes Embry-Riddle in this game. 0 for 4, the Owls finished on the man advantage. And Andrew Yoda's squad will have to do some more soul searching as they get ready for College of Charleston and then the Battle at the Beach tournament. Final shots, waiting for them to come in for you here. 33 Embry-Riddle, 23 for FAU. So make that a 23 save shutout for the Embry-Riddle netminder in their 10th game of the season. That's going to do it for us here at Owl TV. As again, be sure to stay tuned to our YouTube channel, as we will have the Battle at the Beach tournament for you in 2 weeks' time. For our producer, Mitch Liswith, our camera personnel, Madison Quinn, and thanks to Rocco Bruno for coming on the broadcast. My name is Devin Serra. You've been watching this presentation of M3 Hockey. Final score, Embry-Riddle 4, Florida Atlantic nothing. And thanks for watching. Have a great night.